Hello everyone, Peppermint here. Today I'm going to show you how I cook my pinto beans. I cook them in jars and how I season them while they are canning. And so let's get started. But first, how about giving me a thumbs up and how about subscribing to my channel? This is a good channel. And this is not one of my best videos, but the information is all here. I have this little condition called bipolar disorder, and so I'm looking like I'm not having the best of time in this video. I'm hoping that my voiceover is going to make up for that though. But you can tell in there that I'm not feeling my best. But everything in this video has been done properly. So you'll be getting good information, and I'm sorry, I just did my best. Here I am just sorting through my beans. There were quite a few bad ones in here. They weren't rotten or anything. They were just a lot of half beans in here. I got these beans from Ollie's. I paid $1.99 for a 2-pound pack. And here's the bad ones that I pulled out. There were quite a few, like I said. I bought 2 packs of the 2-pound packs, and that is what I'm canning today. I'm canning 2 2-pound packs, so it's 4 pounds that I'm canning. And yes, I'm washing these beans. Always, 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 always wash your beans. Yes, they can be very dusty, and so please wash your beans. And that's what I'm doing right here. I am washing. Washy, washy, washy. Next, I am going to set these beans down into some boiling water. And they will boil for 2 minutes. And here I am setting my timer for 2 minutes. Boiling 2 minutes. And now that they have boiled, I'm just setting them off the burner, and I am going to let them soak for 1 hour, just like that. I'm not even going to lift the lid up or anything, just set it over. And here I am again at the timer. I'm setting the timer for 1 hour, that way I don't forget. While this 1 hour is going by, I'm just spending this time getting set up to can. I have my canner out. Now, if you have the 16 quart, then this is done the exact same way. The only difference is I have a dial gauge, and I'm not really using the dial gauge in this video. I just have it there for just a little bit of reference. So this is actually a weighted gauge video. So don't let the dial gauge scare you off if you have a weighted gauge. I'm checking my lid. I am making sure there's no calcium buildup, that I can look through the steam pipe. That is the place where the steam comes out. And just checking the lid over, making sure everything is working right. And then I was looking at the gasket to make sure that the gasket didn't have any tears or cracks on it. So everything looks good, and so I'm just putting the dial gauge on. The dial gauge is not being used in this video. I only have it there just for a little bit of reference, like I said. So don't worry about the dial gauge. Don't let it scare you off if you have a weighted gauge. Next, I'm putting in 3 quarts of water into this canner. That is all it requires. If you're using the 16 quart, same thing. 3 quarts of water. So I'm filling my 1 quart jug up with water, and there is quart number 1. And here is the 2nd quart of water. There it is. And here's the 3rd quart of water in the pot. 3 quarts. That's all. And I'm getting out my utensils. I have something to put the jars on. I have a few things here to help me out. Now the hour is up and I'm taking the beans to the sink, and the first thing I realize is that they swole up more than I thought they would. So I need another pot. So I separated them out so that I'd have two pots, and now I am replacing the water. I poured that water out off camera and I put some fresh in. And you want to put enough water that you'll have a little bit of water to fill up the jars as well. So you do want extra water in the pot. So I'm boiling these beans again for 30 minutes.
She's on.
Okay, this is how I season the beans. First, I am putting a half teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt into the bottom of the jar. And then I'm putting some onion in there, a quarter teaspoon, and a quarter teaspoon of garlic. And whenever I actually cook the beans, when I go to eat them, I add in some pepper. Now I am filling this jar up to 1 inch headspace with the beans. Now I am putting the bean juice in there, and I am filling that up to 1 inch headspace. Okay, you might wonder what 1 inch headspace is. 1 inch headspace is 1 inch from the rim of the jar. So you fill it, so 1 inch headspace would mean you fill it all the way up except for 1 inch from the top. So now I'm going to debubble with my little dowel. It's a wooden dowel, and I've marked 1 inch on one end and it's pointed on the other, and I really like debubbling with that little stick. And you do want to debubble, because if you don't debubble, then it will affect your head space. And now I'm rechecking my head space. And I also wiped the rim of the jar. That way, if there's anything on the jar, then I can get it off and it'll be clean for the flat. And that will also affect your seal if you have something on the rim of your jar. And then the ring, and you screw it on finger tight. And I like to use my pinky and my thumb to do that. That way I'm not screwing it on too tight. If you screw it on too tight, then it won't be able to release the oxygen out of the jar. I turned the heat up on high, and then I waited for a steady stream of steam. And I usually wait for the lock to come up, and then I start timing 10 minutes for the steam to be released. And then I put the weight on after 10 minutes of releasing the steam. And then I'll wait again for the weight to start moving. And at first it's going to start moving really fast, and you will need to adjust the heat so that the weight is moving at a slower pace. And once the weight starts to move, you can go ahead and set your processing time. And for pints, it's 75 minutes, and for quarts, it's 95 minutes. So in the video, the processing time is gone by, and now I am just picking up the canner and I am just moving it over to a cool burner. I'm not going to do anything to this canner except for remove it from the heating source. And now I am going to just wait again. What I'm waiting for is for the lock to fall down, and at that time I can remove the weight, and then I set the timer again for 10 more minutes. after the 10 minutes has passed, it's okay to remove the lid, but you need to do it very carefully. Use pot holders and open the lid slowly, and be sure to tilt the lid so that the steam is not going to go into your face. And just be real careful with it. And then you can pull out your beans and see how lovely. So why do you can beans? Well, you can them because they just taste better. They taste better. Now, you can cook beans and they'll be just as good, but if you're canning your beans, there's no waste because you'll be eating it over a period of time. And at the end of this video, there's a page where I have done my math work on did I save money or not. And on the math page, I compared how much I spent canning versus Walmart's Great Value brand pinto beans that are in the can. And also Lux, which is comparable to what I just did. It has some seasons in it. Thank you for watching this video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, then what are you waiting for? Go ahead and do that, and also click the like button, and hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.